Greetings, Pool Player Nation. Jason Bowman here, and I'm joined by Bill Tufts, and we are here with your official APA World Pool Championship preview show. Let the excitement begin.
Back.
That's right.
Back.
It is that time of year, folks. The countdown is on. We are just days away from this year's APA Pool Player Championships, World Pool Championships.
World Pool Championships.
In Las Vegas in August 5th through the 16th. And we want to run through some things today with you guys to help you prepare for your trip, to make the most of your trip, and to ultimately really have the experience of a lifetime in Las Vegas. So as we like to do when we get started with this is, first thing we want to do is talk to you about the things you should be doing before you ever go to Vegas, before you ever leave the house, right? Things you need to make sure you do. And really it all starts with registration.
Absolutely.
Right? The online registration, which we started, I don't know, three or 4 years ago, right after COVID, I think we started the online registration. And it has been immensely popular. It's a great way to not have to stand in yet another long line in preparing for your trip. And that is going to should be open today, the day that you're viewing this, July 24th, depending on when you're viewing this. Online registration should be open. You can do that through your member services account. We will be sending out emails to all the participants. We'll be posting reminders on Facebook. Your league operator is likely to be talking to you about it as well. So we are going to be shouting from the rooftops for you to get registered. Make sure you do that because it makes life a lot easier, right?
Absolutely. As you stated, one less line to stand in. And we're talking about a time where a lot of excitement's building. Been traveling, get to the West Gate, you see all the tables, you want to go hit some balls, you want to do those things. In the past, had to take time to actually do that registration thing. Now we do it online, you're all set. One thing I want to note is that it is the individual's responsibility to register for themselves.
So each member of the team
has to register. So I implore team captains, co-captains, the rest of the teammates to make sure that every player on your roster has done the certification process. We do keep that open up until 24 hours prior to the start of your event. So if you're an 8-ball, 24 hours prior. 9-ball, get a bit more time.
Right.
So we open them on the same days. We close them down about 24 hours before the event starts. Make sure that everybody on your team does that. It's pretty simple, right? And just go to member services, certify. You're signing off on all the things that skill level wise, we want to make sure that certification process is set and everybody, tells us to the best of their ability what they're currently playing at. Also, there are some other components like we're gonna photograph people. We're gonna put them on cameras. We're gonna put them on the internet. This allows us to do all of that stuff, as well as just signing off on you guys agree to the rules. Okay. So we have to have those.
It's mandatory, right? You have to be registered to play in the event.
Yeah, I was just going to say that, Jason. You absolutely 100% have to register before you play. Okay. Again, because it's got that certification statement component, we're not going to let you play unless you certify on your skill level. When it comes to the rest of those things that you're signing off on, we're not going to let you play until you sign off on those either. Okay. So make sure you do the e-reg. If for some reason you're unable to do it, we do have the ability to do limited on-site registration, but I normally tell people, please don't rely on that. And it's not that we won't be doing it. It's just what we found is sometimes things happen and people don't make it on time, right? And we might send out a score sheet for your team for that round. If you have not certified, you will not have a skill level on that score sheet. If you do not have a skill level, you will not play that round. So this is the kind of thing where if you do it prior to, your skill level's on there. Your team starts the match, maybe you are late, maybe your plane is late, you had to hang up somewhere. You get there, you're still eligible to play because your skill level's on there because you certified. So it's a huge advantage to the teams that do it prior to and not waiting to get there to do it because of the fact that we're not going to hold up matches for players to certify. And once we print it, that match is set. We're sending it out.
Okay. So again, make sure you get registered. It's a safeguard. It's good for your team. If again, you're going to do that through the Member Services app, the APA Member Services app. If you don't yet have a Member Services account, there is no better reason than right now to get signed up for that. It is free, and it also allows you to track your standings and your records and your schedules and lots of different league-related things as well. So,
sign up for Mini Mania.
Oh, sign up for Mini Mania.
Or our Mega Mania events that we'll be running. You got to have your Member Services app. So another reason to go ahead and have it. It also allows you to see what we currently have you at skill level wise. So we've got what you played at through the session, when you qualified, we've got what you played at playoffs, and then what you played at in your world qualifier. Then after that, post HRC, right? We also have summer play. We're looking at that too. This is going to tell you which of those factors we have found that we are basing your skill level off of for this event. So that's your opportunity to see that ahead of time and then be prepared, to show up. And instead of waiting to register, then finding out, again, with all the timing issues, if you have a question for a tournament director regarding your skill level, you already know it. You come in prepared. You just go to the desk and ask that question instead.
Okay. So, again, there's a reason why it's number one on the list. We do in the preview show. It's probably the most important thing you can do prior to leaving the house, going to Las Vegas. Again, it's going to cut off 24 hours before your event starts. So go ahead and do that today.
Yeah.
Go ahead and get registered. Check it off the list. It'll go a long way in making sure you have a great experience in Las Vegas. So once you are registered for the event, the other thing we like to tell you to do is make sure you review the event program, which also just came out today.
Yes.
Again, July 24th,
Yep.
depending on when sometimes people watch this after the fact, but make sure you go through the event program. It's got all the different information from times of different things, lists of vendors, all the fan favorites are going to be there. We're going to talk some more about all these things, but it basically encompasses all the information you need for this year's World Pool Championships, all in kind of one easy place.
Absolutely, Jason. That's everything from, like you said, the rules. We've got the schedule. We've got prize payouts. We've got all the different events. We've got our vendor list. We've got maps of the hotel space.
Yeah.
Everything that we can think of that's essential to a player's participation in this event, or even somebody who wants to spectate, wants to go see and find out what's going on during the week. This is that. So This is the basis for everything that we're doing. If it's important, we put it in there. There's always some details, right, that you can ask a tournament director for, things that are specific to you or your team or a situation. But when it comes to the event itself, just the overlay, this is the guide.
Okay. And again, like I said, a lot of information. That is an electronic event guide. It's not something we print. You can find that online at any time. We'll have some signage and things out at the event as well with the QR code so you can access it directly if you haven't looked at it. But again, put that as number 2 on your to-do list for Vegas, right? First, you're going to register for the event. Second, you're going to check out the event program. Third on that list is going to be downloading the CompuSport app, right?
Yes.
CompuSport app is where you're going to find all of your team's match times. You're going to be able to kind of look and see where you may have gaps in your schedule during your time in Las Vegas, depending on if you're winning or you're losing. But a lot of times people will use that to figure out, okay, we have a window of time here if we want to book a show or we want to go to a team dinner. It's a great way. Not only that, too, you can follow along other people that are out there, other teams that you may know, see how they're doing as well. So that's CompuSport.ca. And you can download the app. There's also a web-based app for it, I guess, as well, if you want to do that. But I think it's easier if you just download
It's easier
the app,
if you
right?
download the app. We do have kiosks set up around the tournament space too, so you have access to this. But what Jason was saying, this is the brackets, guys. This is who you're playing, when you're playing them, whether or not you're in money, right? Whether or not you have to win one more to get to it.
Yeah.
What happens if you unfortunately you lose, right? And you can map that out all from the beginning. It's a great program, very versatile. Pretty much find out anything you want to find out about your matches, with the exception of what table you're playing on. I will say that won't be on there until about 15 minutes prior to the start of your match.
Yeah, so you don't need to go to the control table and ask what table you'll be on. We won't know that until it's closer to the time for the match.
But the times will be on there. Sometimes we have to call matches late, right? We're waiting on an opponent. We're waiting on a table, something like that. But our times that are in there, if we start early, the clock for sudden death, right, or for forfeits doesn't start early. So if we say it's a 7 p.m. round, even if we get that out at 6:45 just to give people a head start, the round still starts, right, at 7. This is going to tell you that time. Okay. And then it's going to tell you when the table becomes available if we were running behind, too. And then you just go straight to your table. So it's the kind of thing where it will alert you, tell you exactly where to go, right? You don't have to come up to a control table. You don't have to get a score sheet, walk it back. You just go out there, we bring it to you, and you start to play.
Okay. So download that CompuSport app. Again, it's going to make life a lot easier for you before you get to Vegas, while you're in Vegas. Some of the things have changed in terms of flying since we were last in Vegas in May. One of the big changes is the move to the Real ID.
Yeah.
And I'm not an ID expert, so I think that means you have something different on your driver's license. I'm not exactly sure, but what we've been told, at least what they'll tell you, through the airlines, is that you need to be real ID compliant with your driver's license. Whether or not that's enforced, I don't know, right? I'm not.
Yeah.
We're not with the TSA.
We're not with the TSA.
But we know that generally speaking, you are supposed to have a real ID. You can also use your passport.
Yes,
right. If you have a passport as well. So
there are a few other ways of doing it. Go out to TSA's website if you guys want to see the other forms of documentation you can use. But I'll tell you, it seems like the real ID is the fastest,
the easiest solution.
Unless you have a passport, then passport seems to be the other kind of accepted easy method. But there are other ones out there. But yeah, that real ID, it was floated around for years, and then I know that they've implemented it, but again, I don't know if they're enforcing it across the board 100%. Just make sure you're prepared.
Could be different by the airport kind of thing. So just make sure, again, a lot of the tips we're giving you are to just try to make things a little easier, make your experience a little bit smoother. So I would go ahead and get your ID updated if you haven't already.
I think we might want to say that that's for U.S. travel too.
Yes.
Travel from Canada.
Yeah, if you're
Singapore, Japan.
If you're Canadian, Singapore, Japan, you're gonna have to have your passport, right, to get out there.
So look up what you need for your airport.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about packing and things that you should be bringing to Las Vegas. And this discussion always starts at the same place, but it is comfortable shoes. Right. Vegas is a very walking town. You're going to be walking from your hotel room to the tournament room. You're going to be walking from your airport gate to the cab, or however you get to the hotel. You're going to be walking around a lot. You're going to be walking on the Strip. You're going to walk around different casinos, do some sightseeing. You got to have comfortable shoes.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever actually walked on a soft surface in Vegas. If I think about it, everything is concrete. Yeah. So even the walk to your room.
Yeah.
And
even if there's carpet, there's just concrete underneath.
Yeah, it's just concrete underneath it. So make sure you have a comfortable pair of shoes in good condition. We do have, we want to make sure that people still look the part, but comfortable shoes is a big thing. I know that I bring out multiple pairs because
have to.
Pounding around after a few days, they don't respond like they did in the beginning. So having got something to switch into helps. But big deal.
Yeah, and break those shoes in before you go out there. I've learned that one the hard way. Is you try to break in a new pair of shoes in Vegas and they're just a little tight. There's a spot that's giving you blisters somewhere. So get your shoes broken in before you go out there. Good, comfortable tennis shoes, nice and broken in, ready for you to and count your steps. I'm not a step counter anymore. I got rid of all that. I used to do step counting.
What was your reason for getting rid of it?
I think it was messing up my sleep at night. It was telling me I wasn't sleeping very good, and I just started thinking about how bad I was sleeping, and I was sleeping even worse. So I finally stopped. But back then, it was easy to do 20 to 30,000 steps a day. That's
about the time I took mine off, when I realized it wasn't really a motivator out there so much as oh my gosh, But if you guys want to be amazed at something, just strap one of those on your, if you've never been to Vegas or you've never actually
You'll
logged
blow your own mind.
Yeah, you will. Absolutely.
So comfortable shoes. The other thing is a hoodie, a light jacket, something. Again, it's going to probably be 100 plus degrees in Las Vegas.
Yeah, so why would I need it if it's 100 plus degrees?
It's going to be about 65 degrees in the casinos and in the convention areas. Yeah. They keep the insides very cool because once it gets too hot, it's very hard to cool back down.
Yeah, so what we'll find is it'll be cool in the morning. Mm-hmm. We'll get all the players into the space. Everything will warm up. Evening comes. It cools down again. Yeah. And if you're the last team in there playing for the night or one of the last groups, it gets pretty chilly in there with all the bodies gone. So it's not a thing where we can just adjust that, right? So we have to ask people to adjust their clothing in that environment, and make sure you're prepared, because a lot of people will just look at the weather and say, it's Vegas, it's the desert, it's going to be 100 plus, why would I need a jacket? It's because it's 100 plus outside and they want to keep it less than that inside.
Yeah, it's good, especially if you go out on the Strip. I like to kind of just layer. I'll throw it around my waist or whatever, and then when I go in, it gets a little colder. I throw it back on. So anyway, be prepared. And then Pool Dog Arena. Pool Dog Arena is where we run all of our championship matches. It's where we do all of our live streams. We'll have the 8-ball, 9-ball World Championship. We'll have the Team Captains Championship. A couple other things going on in there. But as far as attire for players that are moving into the semifinal or the final round in Vegas, you want to talk a little bit about what the dress code looks like? You could probably talk about the dress code in general, but maybe then talk about Pool Dog Arena.
So we do have a dress code for every space. And for our general rounds of play, there 100% are criteria that you have to meet. Encourage everybody to go out to poolplayers.com. You can find our dress code there underneath the World Pool Championships page, or you can go to the event program. It provides a link to this page. They are different, right? We're going to allow a bit more leniency, wiggle room in attire when we're talking about the main rounds of play.
Yeah, it's more flexible, a little more casual.
Exactly. We've got thousands.
It's not anything goes, though, right?
No, it
it's
is
not just
absolutely
anything
not anything
I know
goes.
I've seen a few things over the years where we've had to tell people to change.
We have had anything goes until they go.
Yeah.
Until we tell them that they've got to leave to go change.
It's funny, you see a guy with an FU shirt on, and you ask him, he's got to change, and he
what's
seems
wrong with my
appalled.
shirt? Yeah, what's wrong with my shirt?
Yeah, he's shocked that he can't wear a shirt like that.
So nothing offensive, guys, right? Nothing that's going to promote violence, right? Drugs, intimidation, criminal activity, that kind of thing. Yeah. Don't do it. Anything that's going to promote something sexually suggestive.
Yeah. Keep it PG-13.
Yeah, PG-13. That's pretty much the general rules in there. We want shoes on your feet.
Yeah.
All right. Sleeves preferably on your shirts.
Yeah, you're going to want them too because it's going to be colder.
It's going to be colder in there, and make sure shorts are of appropriate length.
Okay.
That's everybody, man.
I can't wear my
I will
short
tell you
shorts,
what that
I
is.
guess.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, you sit behind a desk most of the time. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, make sure you read that. Make sure you pack accordingly. When we get to Pool Dog Championship Arena, though, things ratchet up quite a bit. So this is where you are taking center stage. And in doing so, we are going to make sure that you are dressed in a way that promotes the look we want for the event, the prestige of the moment, right? So with that one, pretty strict on that one, guys. There's not a lot of wiggle room on this. So appropriate dress for the Pool Dog Championship Arena includes slacks, khaki pants, no cargo shorts, right? Dress shirt, open collar shirt, polo shirt, or matching team shirts, team events only. So we know that team shirts, sometimes they're T-shirts or whatever else, but they all match.
Yeah.
We're looking for that matching component to make sure that's team shirt. Can't just be the same bar, bunch of different colored shirts, things like that. We're going to make sure that you're clean, that your attire is clean, no tatters, things like that. Footwear, just making sure that's in good shape. We've got a list of approved footwear in there. I will say that the footwear is one that we went back and forth on for years, and we know that it's a tough environment to walk around for that long. So we're a little more relaxed as far as wearing like tennis shoes and things like that.
We don't want to see any toes.
But we don't want to, yeah. And like I said, ladies, it would always get into a thing of like, well, my sandals are worth more than your shoes, which they're 100% right. But open-toed shoes. And that's open-toed shoes are okay as long as they are appropriate open-toed shoes. So if you have questions on that, because it is so subjective, see a tournament director. Yeah. But for the most part, what we're saying is it's business casual. Hats are not allowed unless you have a
verified medical note from a doctor kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah, and a lot of people are going to ask, well, why do you care? What do you care what we wear? And it's because, and particularly when we get into Pool Dog Arena, there's a lot of photography we're doing in there. Mm-hmm. We're taking pictures in the semifinals. We're taking pictures in the finals. Obviously, we're live streaming the final matches. It's kind of your 15 minutes of fame, and we want to make sure you look good.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want to elevate the event as well, but we want to make sure everybody looks good for their time in the sun, right?
Exactly.
So make sure you prepare accordingly for that.
Yeah, I mean, these things, it's going to live forever, right? I mean, well, at least we assume so. And these matches are going to go on Billiard TV and places like that, and they're going to play. We want to make sure that APA, our players, you guys represented well, that you're representing each other well, and that we all take pride in that environment in our appearance.
Yeah, so pack accordingly. The last thing you want to do is have an important match coming up in that arena, chance to go to the finals, and you don't have something for the semifinals, and now you've got to run somewhere across town to try to find something. It's just not a situation you want to be in. So pack accordingly, prepare accordingly, and plan to be in Pool Dog Arena. It's a good mindset to have anyway. Yeah,
I think a lot of people look at this and they're like, well, I'll get it if I get there.
Yeah.
Right? If you can pack this attire prior to, it's going to be one day, right? Pack it. Put it in there. Have it. Because what we do have happen is people come down we do photos prior to the semifinals. Yeah. Everybody has to be dressed appropriately for those. We're sending people away. We've got a certain amount of time where we can do that. People can get back. We can get the picture started and then get the matches started. But we're not going to hold up a match for somebody that didn't read our materials, didn't listen, didn't do what they were supposed to do and have somebody else who did sit there and wait for them, right? So forfeit is something that can happen in these situations. We try to avoid it the best we can, but ultimately, if you don't have the appropriate attire, you're not going to play.
Yeah, and you don't want to let your team down, right?
Nope.
Because your team probably has enough people that are dressed appropriately. You don't want to be an important piece of the team and then not able to play because you
Here's
can't.
one of the
adhere to
biggest
dress
matches
code.
of your life, and now you're worried about
Yeah.
like finding pants somewhere.
Yeah.
It's not a great scenario. I've seen that terror on people's faces. It does not look.
Yeah,
it
I've
does
seen the
not look good.
prices in Vegas too at the stores. You don't want to be buying pants out there.
Ross is a long
Better
way
hit
away
the-
too.
Better hit the Ross up and maybe hope they got your size, right?
Yep, that's right.
All right, so we've talked about the attire you're going to pack. The other thing that we talk about with packing is packing your queue, making sure it gets to Las Vegas. I think for the most part, what people choose to do is they put their queue case inside their checked bag. Your checked bag is what goes underneath the airplane. You don't get to carry it on with you because typically TSA is not going to allow you to have a pool queue go through security. Again, I've heard cases over the years where so-and-so got through, but that's generally not the rule. Right?
Yeah,
That's kind of
assume
an
no.
anomaly, a weird
Assume no.
situation. So
Yeah.
plan to pack your queue in your suitcase that you're checking. If you're flying out there, obviously if you're driving, you just throw it in the car with you and head on out. There is a FedEx.
Yes, yep.
There's a FedEx place at the West Gate if you choose to ship your queue. To me, that seems more dangerous, but I don't know because I've had issues
Depends
with FedEx.
on how you package it.
I've had
Yeah,
issues getting
yeah.
things from FedEx. So it kind of depends. I mean, I know some people have higher end queues and they just would rather take that chance and insure the queue or whatever, which is fine. But just know you're not going to be able to carry that queue case onto the airplane. So you got to pack it somewhere. You got to ship it, but you do want to make sure it's kind of like having the right things to wear. You want to have your equipment. Now, you can buy a pool queue in Las Vegas.
Absolutely.
There's plenty of pool queues to buy,
We'll
but
have thousands and thousands of them.
I
out
would
there.
think if you're playing a big match, you want a queue that you're comfortable with, that that got you where got you there, that kind of thing. So make sure you plan to pack your queue accordingly, wrap it up in lots of clothing, the queue case, make sure it's nice and cushioned in there, and you'll be in good shape.
Yep.
So that covers everything on the before you head to Vegas list. We're going to shift into arriving to Las Vegas and the things you need to do once you're on the ground in the desert, ready to go. And the first thing is, and mainly this is for those of you that are flying in. I know some people drive as well. And if you drive, obviously you drive straight to the hotel property that you're staying at, which is hopefully the Westgate. I think we got more rooms at the Westgate this time.
We
year
do.
because
We
of
do.
some things, but
We are still too big to fit everybody.
not everybody can quite fit in there. But if you're flying to Las Vegas, you will need to get transportation from the airport to the hotel, whether that's the Westgate or whatever hotel you might be staying at. I know we've got people at the Stratosphere. We probably have some people at Circus, maybe even the Link.
Flamingo.
Some of those,
People all
Flamingo,
over.
ones anything that's on the monorail there. You're going to want to make sure you take some transportation. Do not attempt to walk from the airport to the hotel. It's a very long walk, even though it may not look as long as it is. It's, you're talking hours of walking in desert heat, but it's also not a safe walk.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that walk for all the safety reasons.
Yeah.
The heat, the distance,
It's also
the route
probably
you're
some
taking.
questionable
Not great.
places
Yeah,
through
questionable
town.
places through
but I'm talking
town.
about there's no pedestrian walkway out of the
No,
airport.
I don't
so
even-
you're going to be walking on the side of a highway for a little bit
Pretty much.
to get out there. So I don't recommend it. What we do recommend is there are a few different options in terms of transportation. There are group shuttles that you can take. You can find these online. You might be able to find one at the airport, but basically they'll take 15 to 20 passengers on a shuttle van. And they're going to pack you guys in. It's probably going to be your cheapest option.
And this is the public shuttle we're talking about.
Yeah, this is a public shuttle. Now, if you got enough teammates, or two teams probably, you might be able to get one as well. But in most cases, you're going to be on a shuttle with several other people that are going to different hotels.
Yeah.
So depending on where you're staying, and the Westgate's kind of on the northern end of the strip, you might be the last drop off depending on how their route goes. But anyway, if you're looking to save a few bucks, the shuttle is probably your best bet. Most people generally are going to take a cab, or they're going to take an Uber or a Lyft.
Which one do you normally take?
It goes back and forth. I was out there in March and I took a cab. They do have the cab pricing listed now, and I feel like it's like $25 or something to the Westgate. Now, what that doesn't necessarily include is the taxes that they throw on there, and if you pay by a credit card, the credit card
Yeah, a little
fee,
bit of
and
a
then if you're going to
fee
tip
there.
the cab driver. So it ended up being, I feel like, closer to $35, maybe $40, and I was like, I'm going to stick with the Uber.
Yeah.
It's a little. Now you do have to go to a little bit different location, although they moved the cab stand.
Did they?
In Las Vegas? So make sure you check that out. It's not exactly where it used to be, but the Uber and Lyft pickup is in a little bit different spot. It's actually up a level, but that's the way that I.
Does that one take more time? Uber, Lyft?
I don't find that it takes all that long. I mean, it does look crowded when you get into there, but they've got it set up to where it keeps rolling. The cab line also moves fairly quickly,
it moves
even
fast.
if you see it and it's long. That goes fairly quickly. So I don't think you can go wrong either way. I just think you might be able to save a few bucks with the Uber or the Lyft. The fancy option here is to get a limo, right? You can arrange that before you go to Vegas. Like I said, if you're traveling in with your team, say there's 6 or 8 of you, it's your first time in Vegas, or if you your first time, get the limo, and they'll take you down the strip. You do a little sightseeing. I think a lot of times they may actually stop at like a gas station if you want to grab some beer and drink it in the limo.
Yeah, my experience have been wherever you want to stop.
Yeah. So they're, it's just it's going to cost you more.
Yeah.
I don't even know what limos cost these days to rent one, but
I wouldn't know.
probably $100, I would guess. Probably somewhere in that range.
I think when we used to do it, we average out to about $20 a person.
Yeah.
So I mean, definitely more
Might
than
be a little bit more depending on how many you've got.
Yeah, but for the experience, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So if that's how you want to do Vegas when you first get there, there's the option for the limo. And you can Google these things, Vegas airport shuttle, Google Vegas airport limo, and you'll come up with dozens and dozens of different options. So that's the good thing about Vegas, lots of options for transportation. So again, just make sure you have some form of transportation. Do not attempt to walk from the airport to the hotel, because that's gonna be a rough start.
I wouldn't attempt to walk from there to any of the hotels, let alone the Westgate.
I mean, like Mandalay Bay is maybe the closest.
It looks
but
like
even
it's
that's
right
gonna
there,
be
but
a couple hours walking. So I don't attempt it.
No,
please, for your own safety and because of the Vegas heat. So once you get to the hotel, you're going to want to check in at the Westgate. We're going to assume we're going to talk through the Westgate, but if you're at another hotel, again, once you get to whatever your hotel property is, go ahead and try to check in. Now, if it's very early in the day, sometimes you may not be able to check in yet, but what you can typically do is check your baggage with the bell desk. That's typically right there at the registration. You tip the guy $5, to hold your bags. You tip him a couple more bucks when you pick it up, but they'll hold on to your stuff for the entire time until your room is ready.
So now go do what you want without lugging around all your stuff.
Yeah, you're not handcuffed to your stuff. If you want to move around a little bit, grab something to eat, find the pool, whatever. But make sure you get checked into the hotel as soon as you can, in case there's an issue with your room or anything like that. I always tell people check in immediately, because if you get up to your room and maybe the air conditioning is not working or something, you're better off doing it sooner than later. The longer you wait, the more full the hotel gets, and the options become more limited. So go ahead and get checked in as soon as you get to the hotel, and just know that checking into the hotel is different than registering for the tournament,
which you should have already
done. All right, these are different registration type things. So registering with the hotel just gets you into your room where you're staying. The other thing is familiarize yourself with the space, the hotel space. So if you're not staying at the Westgate, do a quick walk around wherever you're at, kind of know where the cab stand is, where the transportation options are, maybe find the food options, obviously figure out where your hotel elevator is. But if you're at the Westgate, definitely walk around and locate the tournament area.
Yes.
Because it is a little bit of a ways from the registration desk of the hotel down to where the tournaments are held.
Yeah, you can see it. Like if you go to the registration area and you're facing the desk, you look to the left far enough, you'll see it. Yeah. So it's not crazy buried in there, at least not from the front entrance where hotel registration is. But that's at the Westgate, right? Other hotel properties, I've gotten lost looking for the hotel registration desk, getting dropped off at the wrong entrance kind of thing. But I think a good point in this, Jason, is remember these places are massive.
Yeah,
the Westgate is a massive hotel. I remember saying if it was here in town where we live, it'd be the biggest building downtown.
Yeah.
And it's not the biggest hotel out there, but it's one of the biggest. So definitely familiarize yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a lot of different ways to get to rooms.
Yeah,
right?
different elevators to
elevators,
use. Obviously, we're down in the convention center area, not to be confused with the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is right across the street.
And it's kind of surrounding the Westgate, at least that corner of where we've got our thing going on. We've got where the Riv used to be, is convention right across the street, and then right next to us is the giant Las Vegas Convention Center proper.
So
right,
we utilize the Westgate Convention Center, the convention center right there on property. And I don't want to make it sound too complicated because honestly, when in doubt, follow the pool sticks. Right, there's going to be thousands of people making their way to that tournament room. Just follow the crowd. It goes right through the restaurant corridor there on the right side of the main lobby bar when you walk in, which is the I bar. You just stay to the right through the hotel restaurants, and you come out into the beginning of the tournament area, and then you just kind of start making your way through. So, and there's a nice graphic there to kind of show you. But
that graphic is in the event program.
There you go.
So you guys can see that. If you guys have any questions at all, Westgate staff, excellent at helping you. They know exactly where the tournament's happening. They can point you down there. Plenty of staff walking around too. Yeah. But I would say look for the restaurants. It's probably the easiest way.
Yeah.
You know, besides the
find
pool sticks,
the Benihana.
If you happen to be the first person there and there are no pool sticks to follow,
go
to the Benihana
and
just keep going.
Yeah, if you pass the Benihana, you're going the right way.
Now I will say we do get a lot of people want to show up and they want to look at the space. Totally understand that, right? They'll get in early. They want to see everything and they'll come down like we encourage. We're only going to let you guys go so far.
Yeah.
And coming down on the days where, like, it's before the event when we're actually closed, that's mostly safety, just making sure that we're getting everything set up, everything's ready to go before we kick open those doors.
Sure.
So you may run into a security guard who says, you can't be here yet. We're all pretty nice about it. We know people want to come in and see the thing.
Everybody's excited.
But when we open our doors, you will know it.
Yeah.
You will absolutely know it. So right now we're scheduled to open them on Tuesday, August 5th.
Tuesday, August 5th.
Tuesday, August 5th, and there will be a line going from our first tournament room, the ballroom, maybe all the way through the casino, past the coffee shop for Mini Mania. Everybody that gets in that line that wants to beat it down and be the first to get in, it's always a wild thing. We will have some other people in that line, though, that are in that line because they think that it's regular event registration. Because they won't see this, they won't read it, and where they could have registered before, or they already have, they stand in a line for a while. So don't just stand in a line.
Check with the people in the line.
Ask if you need to be in that line.
Are you here to register for Mini Mania, or are you here to register
I'd ask multiple, because sometimes they don't get the right answer.
Yeah, right. Somebody else may have mistakenly. Yeah. We try to make it as easy as possible in terms of signage that's out there, information in the event program. Again, you've got to check through the event program to make things a little bit easier. But yes, once the event is open, the rooms are open, you will definitely know it because there will be a influx of people heading down the halls and into the tournament rooms. Which brings me to my next thing, the qualifier money, right? If they're on a 9-ball or an 8-ball world team, they will pick up, the captain will pick up the qualifier money, correct?
Yeah, and that is actually, that schedule is outlined in the event program too. The thing to note about this is this used to be combined with our registration process. And so for anybody that's been around as long as we have, or even just, 6 years ago or so, 7 years ago, you would have went through a line where you registered your whole team then, because there was no online registration, and your team captain would have picked up your qualifier award money.
Yeah,
then.
Which is $350?
It was, and it varies depending on
the event.
Well, depending on where you're coming from. So it's a little different for some of our people coming from Japan, Singapore. I think it might be a little different. But yeah, so you pick up your award, and that's money everybody gets for making it there.
For qualifying, qualifier money.
It's great, but it used to be tied to that registration process. So we would have these massive lines on the first day when our events would open, throughout the week. Once we got online registration, we realized the other component of that, actually handing out that money, we can do that anytime. So as long as our cash payout's open, you guys check the schedule and it says they're open, they'll be doing qualifier award money, you can get in that line anytime. And what we encourage people to do is I'd wait till after rounds start to play.
The money's not going anywhere.
Unless you absolutely need it. No, it's not going anywhere.
Unless you need it right away or something.
But wait till that line dies down.
Yeah.
Inevitably, we will still have people rushing in to do it. And there are some people that just want to get it done so they don't have to worry about it. Completely understood. Just know that you don't have to. You can come back later. It is not a registration. There is no check-in for the tournament if you have registered online.
Okay.
You do not have to do anything else before you play. Right? We want you to pick up that money before you go.
Sure. Yeah. Don't leave it in Vegas.
Yeah. But, you don't have to stand in that line. That has nothing to do with actually playing rounds.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I'll just say it has nothing to do. We've had people confuse it for registration before. Team captain goes through. says, so I'm all good. Staff member says, you're all good, meaning you've got your goodie bag, you've got your qualifier award money, you're good to go. That does not mean, but you're not registered. And they find that out later. It is different. We've gotten better about our staff, just making sure that they remind people that 100% this isn't that. And the area to do that's not too far away. It's just a few feet away. But making sure that everybody knows that line when you're picking up that money or your goodie bag, that is not registration.
Yeah. So again, we'll go back to our first point of the whole show here, which is get registered online before you get out there. It's going to make things so much easier for you.
Way easier.
So the tournament is going to start on August 5th, right?
Yes.
6:30 p.m. We've got the opening ceremonies. We'll do a short presentation, get everybody pumped up for the event. We bring in a Las Vegas singer. She does the national anthem, gets everybody pumped up, and then things will be off and running. We're starting with the 8-ball, right?
We are starting with 8-ball. So that morning, we actually kick open the doors. We'll start with our Mini Mania signups. The registration for individual Mini Mania events will begin that morning. We will have practice throughout every space that we've got. Okay. Right. So we've got just short of 300 tables. At this one, all of our practice tables will be available.
Nice.
It's first come, first serve. And there may be a section or two where we've got it held out for another reason. Just either we're holding it for another event that's going to happen. There are a couple of days where we've got a specialty event that's going on, like for a referee tournament, things like that, later in the event. But on that first day, the only tables that may not be available, we've got a few pro-ams out there that don't have mechs. So you do have to pay for practice.
Right.
But if you're qualified for the event, once the rounds start, it's open play. Okay. So it really is just that time when we're practicing that those tables are locked down. Mini Mania, they are locked, $1 a game there. But for the main events, 8-ball team, 9-ball team, team captains, those events, once your rounds of play go, you're not putting any more money into the tables. So just make sure you want to practice, get down there. That day we've got a lot of it, because we're not kicking off till later. So you can't come down, and I guarantee you'll get on a table eventually. You might just have to wait a little bit for somebody else to move off it. But we haven't had this much time before an opening round in a long time with our schedule. So hopefully everybody enjoys that practice time.
Good chance for people to get some practice in on the almost 300 beautiful diamond tables that will be out there.
Yep.
Obviously the 3.5 by 7 foot diamond tables. There's going to be almost 14,000 people out there, over 1,800 teams, and 1.3 million up for grabs. So it's going to be a lot of excitement. It's going to be great. And I just want to touch on one thing you said there. So if you're in the 8-ball World Championship, the 9-ball World Championship, and even the team captains, right? There's no coin. You don't have to pay anything for the tables when you're playing those matches. It's only for practice and Mini Mania, right?
Correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And that's $1 a rack, basically.
Yep.
And there's a coin mechanism that we use out there.
Yeah, we've got machines all over the place. Diamond sets those up for us, and so you guys can find those. We try to put them in the best spots possible where people are actually needing it. So we've got one outside of the ballroom, which is where the Mini Mania events are. We've got one just inside the pavilion, which is kind of the first room if you make a left or a right instead of a left, right? Mm-hmm. There's one there, and then we've got another couple in the big room in the event center. So you guys will know that more once you get on site.
You'll start to understand.
They glow. You'll see them.
So we're kicking things off with the 8-ball World Championship, and that'll run till August 10th when we'll do the championship match. I think that's about 2 o'clock on August 10th, if I'm not mistaken, there in Pool Dog Arena. We'll be live streaming that so everybody can tune in and watch and see who comes out on top. And then we'll kick off the 9-ball championship and the team captain championship on August 12th, which we do have a day in between. If you're saying, the 10th and the 12th, what about the 11th? We actually have no play on the 11th because of rooming, basically. We try to make sure we can get all the 8-ball people out, or most of them out, to allow for more 9-ball and team captains people to stay. So those events will get going on the 12th, which is a Tuesday. And, of course, we will live stream the championship of both those matches. So there are a lot of other things that are going to be going on out there that I do want to mention. First off, we've got the fan favorites, some of the greatest players in the world, or some of the most known. Of course, Jeanette Lee, the Black Widow, will be out there for almost the entire event. You'll have a chance to play a match with her, get an autograph, take a picture. Florian Kohler will be out there for a couple different appearances as well. And, of course, our good friend Dr. Q, Tom Rossman, will be out there for the entire event as well. So great opportunity to interact with these folks. Again, get a picture, get an autograph, maybe play a match against them, and just have some fun. They're all really great people too,
they are.
just to interact with. So if you've never had the chance, I would encourage you to spend a little time with them because that's some fun stuff.
They're kind of hard to miss.
Yeah, they are hard to miss.
So we got them in a great spot. They're right between our two main tournament rooms that we're doing our main tournament play on. So you can't really miss them. You're turning in score sheets. You're moving between the two rooms. You'll walk right past it. You'll see them live because their schedules, they're going all the time.
Yeah, they're there. Yep. They're there. There's always somebody there. So one of the other things that's going on pretty much all the time is Mini Mania. And I know Bill's talked a lot about Mini Mania, but basically that's buy-in tournaments that we run for the majority of the day. I don't know exactly how many hours anymore, but it's 100% payback. Those boards range in terms of format and size, different things, but opportunities there to play. And you don't necessarily have to be qualified for the event. You don't necessarily have to be playing in the 8-ball, 9-ball, or team captain championship. You just have to have enough scores and be an APA member, and you can come participate in Mini Mania. I know that's a popular thing for a lot of people, like in Southern California.
Extremely
like
popular.
To drive down for a couple days and play in some Mini Mania events. So, again, if you're an APA member and you got enough scores, you're welcome to join us out in Las Vegas at the Westgate, playing some Mini Mania, get that experience of what it's like to play on the big stage out there.
Yeah, and I think that is what's special about Mini Mania, too, is that you don't have to be one of these qualified players. You could be a friend, family member, traveling with, right, who has the scores. You could be somebody just wants to come and be a part of it and has the scores from playing in APA, and you can compete in these. You get eliminated from the tournament, right? Unfortunately, only one team's going to win. A lot of them are going to be done. Mini Mania is a perfect opportunity to pivot if you want to keep playing pool. Yeah. We also have our Mega Mania events.
Mega Mania, yeah.
So we kicked these up a few years back, basically recognizing there are times where we had tables available and we had a lot of people who had been eliminated, but our Mini Mania events might have been full at that time. Yeah. People sign up for those 24 hours in advance and they fill up really quick, and it is skill level based, right? So it's not a guarantee that at the point in time you get eliminated or you're available, that one of these events will be available for you. So we wanted to increase that, but not increase by, hundreds of little events. We wanted to do bigger events for everybody. So fields of 64 teams, typically doubles, 8-ball, 9-ball, different combinations. Definitely check those out. We've got a schedule inside the event program as well for those.
How many of those are we doing, Mega Mania?
Well, I do believe right now, as of this morning, I think that we had one more that might have been added. I'd have to go check on that, but right now it looks like we've got 14.
Oh, wow. Okay, I didn't realize it was that many.
Yeah, it increased quite a bit because we've got less events here.
Yeah,
right?
We moved some things around.
We moved things.
Talked about a lot.
Yeah, if anybody was at the Pool Player Championships, you saw that a lot of the events that were previously at World Pool Championships moved to that one, kind of a balancing thing we were trying to do. When that happens, we have a lot more table availability at the end of these events to be able to do these. And I think it's a great benefit to the teams that are there, that did qualify, because a lot of times they are kind of the ones that may not have that additional opportunity to continue to compete easily once eliminated, depending on how far they go. The majority of people that will be in-house will be the players that qualified. The majority of these events will be going to those teams and those players to compete. So we hope everybody takes advantage of it.
Yeah.
There are some rules. If you're qualified for events, you're probably going to be pretty good for this, right? But there's still some skill level requirements and things like that. Okay. So you sign up for those at the Mini Mania table too. And really, any questions you guys have on Mini Mania, Mega Mania participation, you guys can see a tournament director. You could always email us before you go to the event. But if you're on site, check with a tournament director, floor manager, even just go up to the desk and ask. They'll be happy to assist you. Now, don't jump the line. If you don't jump the line,
you gotta wait in the line. Don't jump the line.
Yeah, unless you're very clear. I'm just asking a question because sometimes
you
people are saying those. Yeah, a little bit, but very popular. And aside from those, availability for practice tables will be another big change. I think people will see at this one is just we'll have more throughout the event than we've had in a long time.
Good. So yeah, again, all those details, Mini Mania, Mega Mania, fan favorites, schedules, all that stuff is in the event program, which is why we've told you guys, make sure you take a look at the event program, get familiar with it, kind of know what's going on before you ever leave home. We're going to have, 2 or 3 dozen vendors out in Las Vegas that'll be there every day from the first day till maybe the second to last day. They start tearing down on the day of the last final. You can see a list of exhibitors here.
A lot of big names on that list.
Yeah, I mean, anything you could possibly want pool related, you'll be able to get it at the Westgate during the World Pool Championships. There's just, whether it's apparel, whether that's a new cue, any
just
kind of billiard accessories. You can even buy a pool table while you're there. I mean,
you can buy a pool table.
You can buy a diamond pool table.
Yeah, if you guys have interest in that too, make sure you're stopping by the Diamond booth.
Yeah, I don't know that you're going to be able to fly home with the pool table, but you can buy a pool table there.
I don't know. Whose plane is it?
There's a will, there's a way. But yes, lots of opportunities with the vendors out there. You want to talk a little bit about rulings and how that works?
Yeah, so I've been saying, see a tournament director or see some staff, right? If you have any questions, this goes to rules too, right? And that could be rules prior to the event, just procedural things, operational rules about what should I certify myself at, right? When do my matches play? How does that process work? All those kind of questions come up, and we'll answer those. But specifically, I think what you're referring to is you'll be playing in a match. Maybe a call doesn't go your way, and maybe you disagree with the referee who was called to the match. What we want to be very clear about is that our referees are volunteers. They do the best that they can. They do an excellent job, right? But they're human. Sure. And sometimes they may misspeak, right? Yeah. They may have the rule. Mistake. They may have the rule wrong, right? We hope not, but sometimes maybe they do. It is a special environment. It's got a few things that happen in the Vegas environment that don't happen back in league,
different than
right?
League play,
right.
Sure.
And some of those things are tackled in bylaws. We'll find some of those crop up and things like that. So, all to say, if you don't think what the referee is telling you is correct, you need to ask for a floor manager if the referee doesn't get one for you. A lot of times, if you're questioning the referee, they'll just get the floor manager because that's what we instruct them to do. Mm-hmm. If a floor manager comes over, they'll be in a suit. They're the direct supervisor of our referees. The floor manager will listen to the scenario, whatever they have to do, whether it's asking the referee what's going on first or asking the players. They'll go about the process depending on exactly what they're dealing with there. And then they're going to make a ruling, right? Again, if you don't believe that what they're telling you is accurate or true, you don't have to just take that at face value and say, well, the guy in the suit, that's what he said. We have a lot of people in suits. Floor managers are the first start of the people in suits. The next people up from them, the guys that actually oversee the floor managers, that would be our tournament directors. Tournament directors are easy to find. They're on our control stages for the most part. Unless they're down the floor dealing with something, they're sitting up there fielding questions the entire time. Easy enough to find, just ask the floor manager for a tournament director. Tournament director will come down. Tournament director is going to give a ruling. Again, same process, guys, same process. If you don't believe what you're hearing is true, there's one more step you can take after a tournament director comes down, and that is to get an event supervisor. I'm an event supervisor. I've got counterpart Tim and counterpart Zach who will be there on site. We overlap in shifts so that we're always covered. We're kind of the last line. We're going to come up, we're going to assess the situation, we're going to talk to everybody involved, we're going to make a judgment. At that point in time, guys, that's the ruling. If it stayed the same the entire time, right, you don't have to feel bad because you got everybody involved, but at least you learn that's what the answer is going to be. Arguing with us, it's probably not going to really get you too far because by then we've looked at it, and we run into unique things in pool too. It's not like everything is spelled out in the rule book, but once we make that ruling, we're going to make that ruling based on fairness or the letter of the rule. It just depends on what we're dealing with, but we're going to do that to the best of our ability to make sure that it's fair, and it's fair moving forward. If we have to do it later, we want to make sure it still applies to that later situation. So that's what we're assessing. We're going to give you an answer. That answer is final, right? Not to say something doesn't come out of the discussion. Sometimes we change rules, the next printing if we think there's a better way from maybe a recommendation from a player who didn't
Yeah.
care for wording or things. So it's worth it to go through the process. The worst thing on earth is hearing about a call. Somebody's coming up and now they're talking to a tournament director or they're talking to me and they're talking about a call that they don't believe went right. And we're hearing everything that they're saying and realizing, oh, that might not have went right.
Yeah.
And what people may not know is we will go talk to that referee. We will go get to the bottom of it. The issue is there's often nothing we can do about it at that point
The
in
tournament
time.
has gone on. And
Yeah, and this is true of any sport. Next play happens.
Yeah.
There's no review. There's no going back and ruling on something earlier. So the time to do it is then. The time to stop the match is then. Make sure no progress. That way we can rule on it. We can get you a ruling. May end up being favorable. If you just move on, if you agree to play, if you don't go up that chain, if you just accept an answer even though you don't believe it, you later find out it was incorrect. Unfortunately, all we can do is go and talk to the referee or the official or whoever and make sure it doesn't happen again. But there's very, very little we can do for you in that situation. So make sure you guys are satisfied with the answers. I'm not saying happy, right? But at least make sure that everything you heard has been consistent, that it's consistently applied. If you keep hearing the same thing, that's probably the answer.
it's got to be pretty rare that like the referee gets it wrong, the floor manager gets it wrong, the tournament director gets it wrong, and then
Extremely
the event
rare.
supervisor
Yeah, if you make
changes it right. Like I would think I could see a referee making a mistake, and maybe even a floor manager, but it'd be hard to press to get through the tournament director level where nobody has said that's off.
Yeah. So just in practice, most of the time, if you call for that tournament director, right? I mean, we're talking about either it's something really wild we've never heard.
Yeah.
Right. And normally that's not even a call the referee makes. He'll just tell you, I don't know what I'm supposed to call here. And he'll go get somebody. Those scenarios we all convene and get together to come up with the best rule possible or the best way to move forward. But in those other scenarios, especially if they're pointing to it in a book or something like that, and you're pulling in one after the other, again, you can still do that. Just know if you've heard the same answer 3 times in a row with 3 people all pointing to the same rule in the rule book, probably going to lose that one. Guys, probably going to lose that one. But use your judgment, right? Don't just take it, right? Move on, get upset. Time to ask those questions is then.
The other thing I guess we should mention is just kind of skill levels, observers, the importance of the handicap review committee. When you register, right, you certify yourself at a certain skill level. Be honest, be truthful.
Yes.
Because we take the handicapping very seriously throughout the event. I don't know that we've ever gotten through a full event where we didn't necessarily have at least a disqualification in one of the. I don't know. Maybe there was a year. It seemed like a stretch to think, but
We've had individual events where we haven't, like 8 ball won't
sometimes
have
you
one,
won't have
9
one
ball
in 8
won't
ball,
have
but you have
one.
one in 9 ball.
And I don't want to speak to the numbers that we're actually experiencing, but anecdotally, I can't say that there's any more than there's ever been. I actually think that the online registration and the process of us identifying your skill level through this method is much better at catching the discrepancies that in the past the player may not have divulged themselves, or we may not have had the process in place to catch it, alert the player so that they know that that's what they should be signing off on. So what we're actually looking at when it comes to your skill level for certification, for registration, if you guys go to there be what you're signing off on, you can actually read the language on that.
Yeah.
It's very important. One thing we noticed that, we got mobile phones, everybody's got their member services. Now they can pull it up. So one of the things, it's pretty obvious. If you're a 7 right now in the summer, you qualified as a 6, but you're a 7 right now in the summer at the time that you're registering. You're registering at a 7. Because,
you need to register as a 7.
How would we ever be able to tell somebody you're not?
Yeah.
Right. So that's one of the changes. Now, things between the time you register and the tournament, things can change, right? Maybe your skill goes down.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes up, right? And those kinds of things. And that's where you guys are really taking an assessment on what is that number? Is that based on all these other factors? Is that accurate? Is that skill level accurate based on the criteria we're looking at? If it is, more than likely that's the skill level you're going to have to start at. And we always said, everybody believes that you only go up in skill level at these events, and that's just not true. People go down too. So just because you're certifying at that doesn't mean that you're locked at that. We recognize that that might be 1 week out of the summer that happened to be the week of registration. And maybe that's not indicative of your overall play. Maybe that shouldn't be the way that it goes for the rest of the event for you. We're going to make that determination, though. Right? We are on top of that. What we're asking you for is basically that number that's on that screen. Based on the criteria, if that number is accurate, then are you any higher? Sometimes people, they practice or they do whatever else. And they believe that skill level, I might not be there.
Yeah.
That's your chance to certify higher. If you guys have any questions about that or your specific skill level, because they are so different, it is, everybody's record, a little bit different. We can look at that for you if you have a question on it, if you don't think it's fair.
And if you're concerned about the team you're playing or some of the teams you'll play,
Absolutely.
we do have pretty robust system in place that we try to identify issues. We have the observers. Actually, it starts before that. It starts from the time people qualify, and the handicap review committee starts
the first score on your
looking
score
at all
screen,
their
really.
scores and making sure that they got in legitimately. But once we get to Vegas, you've got observers. You'll see them in the green shirts.
Sometimes you'll see them in the green shirts.
Sometimes we have people that we send out that aren't identified, right?
Yeah.
And they're basically, we don't tell them your skill level. They're just basing it on what they see and giving us their opinions. They're usually pretty long-term league operators that have, been
Very high
around
skill.
for quite a while.
Very high
High-skill
skill.
players that know what to
They know what they're
look
looking
for.
at,
Yeah.
right? And so we're sending them out in teams to different matches. Some are random, some aren't.
Yeah.
Some are wearing the green, some aren't.
Yeah.
Right? Just depends on what we believe that we're dealing with and the best way to observe that match naturally, right? But that presence on the floor is extremely important because, our scores are as good as the score sheets.
Yeah.
And I like to say everybody's marking down everything or they're doing everything. Sometimes, we run across somebody that's not. The observers are there to watch for that. They answer to our handicap review committee team. They are literally, guys, going through every single
score sheet,
every
after
single
match.
score sheet
And
for
observer
every
notes.
single
Right.
player that played every single round throughout the event.
Yeah.
Every single time. So, it is a big process. It's a robust process, but it's an important one to make sure that the people winning this tournament and advancing in this tournament are doing it fairly. Everybody else had a fair shake at it. So if you guys have any questions on that, come see us. One thing I will say is you see somebody in a green shirt, that it's not a referee. We don't want you talking to the observers.
Yeah.
We understand there's a lot of APA people running around, but a green shirt, just leave them alone.
They're
They're going to do their thing.
Yeah, they're a fly on the wall there. So, and like you said, it's a good point. I mean, the handicap review committee is looking at scores after every match, but you mentioned it's of the utmost importance to APA that the tournament is fair, right? We don't take any joy in disqualifying a team here and there, but it's essential sometimes to keeping the fairness to the other 600 or 700 other teams that are out there that have played fair. And while you hate to have to go through the process, sometimes it's necessary, and nobody takes any joy out of it, I can assure you. But if it's necessary, it will be done. So just make sure that you're playing on the up and up, and let the rest of the things take care of themselves.
Yeah. If you don't have an observer on your match, and maybe your team played against somebody that you believe is wildly out of rank, write down a note on the score sheet. We're reviewing every single one of these. And so we will take that note to the handicap review committee, who will use the tools that they have to evaluate what happened in that match that you saw from your perspective, the potential of sending out somebody else to get another perspective on it. What have they done in past matches? That kind of thing. I mean, they really are diving into it. So best thing you can do is let us know, right? And I think that just taking that step is a big one. Some people do, some people don't. And I wish more did if they legitimately had like a complaint. Now, writing on the back of the score sheet can also be something. You got another team sitting there watching you do this. So if you would like to make notes about a player but don't want to do it in that way, you can just provide a note to us, right? Yeah. We would just need the information on the match and the player. Can't guarantee we're going to send somebody out immediately. That does happen. Yeah. But you guys also got to look at it from a perspective of competition. That could be used just to slow somebody down, to get in their head.
Yeah.
Right. And so we're not going to just immediately pull off an observer who already has an assignment somewhere else.
Yeah.
And send them out there immediately to watch this match. We just can't do it. Right. So making notes of it, you come up there and let us know about that. We're already making a note and seeing what we can do, but just let us know, and then we'll take it from there.
Good. Some good information there. Anything else you want to add about the tournament? Get people prepared, ready to go, excited?
I'm ready to go.
Ready?
I'm excited.
You're all packed?
No,
you're not ready.
No, just mentally ready to go.
Mentally ready to go.
I really am excited for this one. I think it's going to be an excellent one. Different. We haven't had one like this in a long time. Focus being on 3 events, right? And so ton of people there.
Almost
but
14,000 people.
I love those first days.
Over
Seeing people
1,800
coming in.
teams.
Yeah. So
1.3 million in prize money. It's going to be huge.
it's the
as
world's
it always is.
largest pool tournament.
It definitely is. So the only other thing I'll add is just, again, after you've registered online, that's the first thing. But attitude. Attitude goes a long way in terms of the kind of experience you're going to have. You may have, maybe your flight gets delayed, or the hotel check-in is a little bit longer than you would have liked, or there's some other issue that slows down the beginning of your trip. Don't let it ruin the rest of your adventure. Right? Have a good attitude. There's going to be some hiccups along the way, but the attitude that you have will go a long way in determining what kind of experience you have there in Las Vegas, and we hope it's the experience of a lifetime, frankly.
Yeah,
So,
make the most of it. Wasn't too long ago where we had a year where we weren't allowed to do this, right? So it wasn't a given. Just appreciate it for what it is. Enjoy the experience. Recognize what you're part of in this, and just be kind to each other. Have fun.
Yeah.
It should be a great time.
it's a good group of people out there. So we're excited to see you guys all in Vegas. Just a few days away now, and we wish you guys all safe travels out there. And we will see you at the West Gate on August 5th.